to me, this is one of the coolest things I've ever read. So here you are at the height of the scene, and you befriend a fellow model, Patty Hansen, who is dating Keith Richards.
The best.
And so you say, this sounds so exciting to me, because to me, Keith Richards is one of the greatest.
The coolest ever.
Like the coolest guy, right?
Not only more cool than you really even know.
And so you're hanging out with the Stones, and Keith Richards, you describe a scene where you're on an airplane, and Keith is turning to you and saying, hey, I just wrote a song, tell me what you think of it. Right. You must have been hearing songs like, Ruby Tuesday or Sympathy for the Devil, because he was coming up with riffs left and right at that point, right?
It was amazing. Actually, we were on the Concorde together, and then when we got in the limousine...
Gives me the chills.
Yeah, he put on, before it was like up top there or whatever it is, and, I'm listening, and he's going, you got ears, listen to this and that and other. It was just so cool, and he was he is so talented and such a great writer and everything, and just to see them in love. And I remember Patty, we went down to the bathroom afterwards, and she says, Beverly, this is the one. I'm like, what do you mean this is the one? We're just hanging out with the guy. She said, no, I'm going to get married, and I'm going to have children with him. And I'm like, whoa.
Slow down, honey.
Slow up now.
You're losing oxygen.
We're having fun here, but don't, But they did, and it's wonderful.
But Beverly, isn't it the most intoxicating to be hanging out with a rock star who's sitting there creating some of the world's greatest music?
I cannot tell you.
Was it great stuff? Like, were you listening? And were you, in a way, it's the greatest seduction for a man to seduce a woman, isn't it?
Well, I've been around it because remember, one of the husbands got reggae music to America. And so I was around Bob Marley and everything. And I've kind of been around a lot of musicians and all of that. And so
What was Marley like?
Unbelievable.
What is unbelievable about Marley?
Unbelievable. First of all, he was so handsome and
good-looking dude.
And just very, oh my God. Now that's one I regret not. Well, anyway.
Why didn't you sleep with him?
I don't know.
What were you thinking?
It was just too much for me. It was just.
He blew your mind.
Yeah, he really did. And just, his energy and what he was talking about and his songwriting and, and all of that.
And the pot thing was so much of his culture. Like, was he constantly stoned and smoking?
Constantly.
And did he have the best weed?
Yeah, man. He was just like, he was just the coolest of the cool,
And these guys can have anything they want, right?
Anything they want.
And you're probably aware of that, too. In a way, it's a game, too. You're like, you know what? I'm just not going to give it up so easy for some of these guys because they can have anybody, and they're just going to go on to the next one and the next one and the next one.
I just like to appreciate them for, what they are, what they have to offer. It's not really like a relationship thing for me.
I can't get off this plane with Keith Richards. So when he's sitting there, do you remember any one song where he turned to you and said, hey, what do you think of this riff? And then it was like, I don't know, Satisfaction or something? Do you remember any particular one?
No, I don't, but I do remember he did a solo album at the time.
That was the Expensive Winos, right?
Yeah. It was really
I dig
cool.
that album, actually.
He's really, really, really talented. Really cool guy.
Do you think he was playing those songs for you, showing off and knowing he was no, you think it was just like, hey, he was really
Patty
curious?
Was right there. No, he was really curious because he knew I had been around, a lot of people in the music industry, and also I'm black and I'm cool.
Right.
And he knew I had ears. I think they can sense whether somebody is cool and they have ears and whatever. And I did. I do have ears.
Is being cool hard? In other words, I was never a cool guy. I don't know how to be cool. I don't know how to be comfortable in a crowd. I don't know how to hang. What does it mean to be
how
cool?
do you do all that?
Well, I think that you don't say very much. And
that's the secret.
No,
you have hit it. Yeah. I talk too fucking much. I could never be cool.
You have to be like an observer. It's almost like Andy Warhol. He never spoke. It was so weird. I mean, he even called me up one day, and he didn't say anything.
And didn't say anything.
I mean,
that's the coolest move.
I mean, really.